Your choice of turning chain can have a big impact on the finished look of your crochet. So let's take a look at 5 different techniques that you can use as a double crochet turning chain, and then what that looks like with a border on, because that can change your mind completely. So welcome to Froggity Frog Crochet, and let's get stuck in. Please do let me know what you think of each of these methods in the comments. I would love to hear what you think of them. So let's look at some of the ways that you can make a double crochet turning chain. So when most people are familiar with the chain 3, 2, 3. So why a chain 3? Because a double crochet is 2 chains in heights, and then you're going to fold over the top of this chain, and that becomes the top loops. So you've got 2 chains for height and 1 chain to count as loops. And that's why it's a chain 3 for a double crochet turning chain. But once you made this chain 3, you have a choice. Do you count this as your first stitch, in which case you are going to use those top loops in your next row, or do you not count this as your first chain? And people do it depending on what they prefer. So if you count it, then you do not work into these loops, you work into the next stitch. So the chain 3 is not as wide as double crochet, which gives you this gap, but if you pull it up like your piece will be when it's finished, it does give you a nice straight edge. So this comes down to personal preference. So I'm just going to do a few more stitches and turn. And then I can show you chain 3 that doesn't count. So chain 3. This time we don't want this to count. So our next double crochet is made in the first stitch, loops which are right here. And then you carry on making double crochets in that row. Okay, so now we've got rid of that gap. So that gap is gone, but we no longer have a straight edge. Instead, we get this bump. If I go back, so I've got my chain 3, I'm going to pull it out to a chain 2. This helps because you don't need those loops at the top, because we're not going to be counting this. So instead, make a chain 2. A few less stitches, but you still get the bump. And that's simply because, I just make a few more stitches to show it a bit better. Double crochet plus that chain is now wider than a double crochet stitch. So you inevitably get this bump on the side. So you no longer have your straight edge, but you've gotten rid of the gap. So what else can you do to reduce this? Because the aim is to not have our turning chain show at all, if possible. We want a nice straight edge and no gaps. What other types of turning chain are there? Well, you've got several other options. And I've got 3 more to show you. So the next turning chain that we can make is we chain 2. So after you made this chain 2, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull per loop. Yarn over, pull through the loop once, yarn over, pull through the loop twice. You've made a chain. Yarn over, pull through both loops at the top. A chain is not as wide as a double crochet stitch. And so doing this, it gives you a straighter edge. It's not going to be completely straight, but it's straighter than having a chain 2 double crochet. I'll just make a couple more stitches, you will see. Because this is all about how the stitches look in relation to each other. So this does not stick out as much, and you've not got any gap. So this chain 2 does not count, so your first stitch is here. So this top of this second chain that we did counts as the first stitch. Okay. It is still wider than a regular double crochet stitch, but the edges stay straighter because this chain is still thinner than this one, and this will turn on its side as you work. This will scrunch together a lot more. So that's another option for you. So what else have we got? Well, the next option is my favourite. And it's my favourite purely because it is so easy, and it's so easy to adapt to different size stitches. Oh, I have in the past called it the alternate turning chain. More accurately, it's a stacked single crochet. So you turn and chain one, because we need a bit of height. We're going to make a single crochet in the first stitch. Now, if you had single crochet rows, you just carry on single crochet. But we want a double crochet row. Insert your hook into that sidebar of the stitch. So you got the V of the single crochet. You're going into the sidebar. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So essentially we just made a single crochet into that sidebar, and that's now stacked. If I just push a stitch marker through, you can see where your top loops are. It's just where the single crochet loops are. And it's not far off the same width as a double crochet. This doesn't make a completely straight edge, but it's straighter than a chain 3 or that double chain we made before. And because it has a normal stitch at the top, it's easy to keep track of your loops. And I like this one because you just keep stacking the chain, the single crochets. So if you've got a treble row, you just make another single crochet into that side loop. So it's really adaptable. That's why I prefer it. But it's not that different from the width of a regular double crochet. So there's still a bit of a difference because you've got this chain 1. That's what gives it the extra width. And so you will get a bit of a bump on the side. Okay. Now there is one more method, and this will give you the straightest edge, but it's also the trickiest. And it's tricky because you need to gauge the size, the height of your stitches without having one in that row to compare to. And what you need to do is pull up a loop. You need to pull up a loop to the height of a double crochet. I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the stitch, and finish it as a regular double crochet. So I get my stitch marker in there. Okay, this is that starting loop, and it counts as your top loop of your hook. But because there's no chain 1 and this is all being pulled up, it's far more like a regular double crochet. I'll just make a couple more stitches so you can see. Okay, so if I pull this up, it's not far off. This is loose because I made this loop too tall, so it takes practice. If I had made less of a loop, this would be tighter, so it does take a bit of practice to get it right, but this gives you the straightest edge. So let me show you some pieces so you can see how this works with several stitches working all the way up. So the first one we did was having our chain 3 count as the first stitch of the row. And you can see you get these holes all the way down. It is not a solid edge, but you get a very straight edge. So these pieces have been blocked, so they're nicely stretched and in proportion. And that's what you get. So what if your chain 3 counts? Well, if your chain 3 counts, you get this. Oop, upside down. You get this edge. you're still getting a little bit of a gap, but that's just because of this edge going on. It always bumps out, and because it bumps out, you get this gap. You can reduce this. So this is actually a chain 3. If you did a chain 2, this will be less and the gap will be less. But you're still inevitably going to get this edge. Okay, so then we did the chains. So that chain 2 on the outside and a second chain on the inside. You don't get the gaps, but you've still got the wavy edge. So slight improvement, but still not really what we're looking for. So then we've got the stacked edge. So these are the stacked single crochets at the beginning, and you see you've still got a bit of an edge going on, but there's no gaps. The side is solid, there's still a little bit of a wave going on, but it's far straighter than the chain 2, the chain 3s. And what about that's bringing up that loop to begin with? This is it. This takes practice, but no gaps in the side and the straighter edge. The only one that had a straighter edge than this was the chain 3s. Again, that's upside down. So this chain 3, counting as your first stitch, gave you the straightest edge, but you get these holes. This pulling up a loop, you get no holes. Slight bumps in the side, but it's the straighter edge after this one. So this comes down to personal preference. But I'll tell you what else plays a factor in this, in choosing which turning chain should count for you. And that's if you're going to add a border. If you're going to add a border down the side, your turning chain is going to affect how that border looks. So let's look at these pieces with a border added so you can see how that affects it as well. Okay, so once you've got the borders added on, things begin to look a little bit different. So this is the piece where we did a chain 3, which does not count as the first stitch. And so when you add a border, you end up with this kind of alternating spike. It's not even. You get a short stitch, then a long stitch, a short stitch, and a long stitch. And that's just because of how the stitches fall. So this side I haven't put a border on. And so it all depends on where these border stitches go into this chain 3. Because you've got this bit sticking out, you're going to end up putting your border stitches into this bit. And then the end stitch, on the next row, your stitches go in here. So you get the same kind of in and out pattern for the border as well. And it shows all the way up. So the next one was chain 3, which does count as the first stitch. And this is much more even, but you still get the holes in the side. Okay, but it is much more even and much more regular. So we're still working into those holes. But the reason that gap is still there is because that chain is thinner than the stitch. So a much more even look for your border, but those gaps are still there. So the next one, right way around, there we go. So much more even. It's much more regular for this one. Okay. And this is one where we made kind of that partial chain before we started. You can see that it's the side, but it's a much more even border. The stitches feel much more regular. There's no really any holes in there. So the border on this one comes out actually pretty neat and nice. So our next piece is the one that I tend to prefer. So this is the stacked single crochet to start, and you can see a bit of a difference between the rows. There is a bit of an in and out going on, but it is fairly even. Just come to the side, you can see how there's a little bit of a in and out going on for the edge, but border is fairly even. So, these sides do change as you add your borders on. It does change the look and how you think of them, how you do your turning chain. So this is the one where we pull up the turning chain to the height of the row, and it's fairly even. Your border goes on nice even, gives it a nice straight edge. So this is the one we get the straightest edge down the side, and that is reflected in the border as well. And there you have it, 5 different ways that you can make a double crochet turning chain. I would love to hear which one is your preference. Please do let me know in the comments, because I would love to hear which one you are using and which you'd be interested in trying next. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more crochet tips, free crochet patterns and stitch guides as well. And thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.